It's time to go back to 1995 with the debut album from an Irish boy band called Boyzone. Although they'd been sort of around for a couple of years doing this and that and working my way back to you in Ireland and a few other bits and pieces, this is the album that really kicked it off and is one of my favourite albums of the 90s and noughties. But let me tell you a story. I wasn't keen on Boyzone the first time round. I discovered them slightly after they split up, because I had family members who were a big fan of the band, and so it was just there all the time, and I don't think I was old enough to really appreciate it. And then one day I discover one of their old cassettes with the Said and Done album on it, and I don't know what it was, whether it was a hint of nostalgia or something else, but I was just caught by Ronan Keating's voice, the way in which their voices molded together, the way that Stephen Gately's voice pierces through that mix. It's so distinguishable. And so I bought the album a few years later, actually, because I was on that cassette for quite a while and I wore it out. As with the step one, there is so many iconic Boyzone tracks on here that were big singles at the time. Coming Home Now, Love Me for a Reason, the Osmonds cover. We have So Good, Key to My Life, Arms of Mary, Father and Son. Half of these are covers, but the way in which Ronan and the boys delivered it was just absolutely perfect for 1995. Boyzone, like a lot of their contemporaries, became known more for ballads, predominantly because I think they sold better. On here, their forays into more upbeat music really work for me. You know, Working My Way Back to You didn't make it onto this album, but we've got Together, which from memory opened their concerts back in the day. What an uplifting song that is, the way that the sort of synthetic strings come in. And then we have all of them go together. You know, I always loved that, thought that was brilliant. Can't Stop Me in particular, Stephen's lead vocal on that, a strong vocal and yet fragile in places where it needs to be. And the way that that beat kicks in and their use of sampling as well is part boy band, but just a great pop record. Coming Home Now, by the same token, has them all working together on those harmonies. And I think it's either Keith or Shane going weeks, days, hours, minutes. That's really powerful. And it takes me back in time to the mid-90s. It's just such a powerful piece of music. There's just so much feeling in there. So although it has a lot of the iconic songs on it, it's not exactly the Boyzone that everybody came to love later. There's a few kind of hit and misses on here, but for me is one of their best albums. Everything about it is nicely polished. There's some brilliant kind of orchestration here, and for me I guess it's a kind of time travel that you can only get with music. So that is Said and Done by Boyzone. Tell me, if you're a fan of Boyzone, what do you think of this album? What are your favourite tracks on it? Do you think it's one of the best in their catalogue? And if you're not a fan of Boyzone and you've heard it, what do you make of it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you for a future 90s and noughties video.